Ever wondered what you can and can't do in France? Well, let's get started. France, a land of timeless beauty, rich history, and unique customs that can sometimes be puzzling to outsiders. From the magnificence of its iconic landmarks to the allure of its quaint little towns, this country is a treasure trove of cultural experiences. But let's not forget, there are certain do's and don'ts that one should know before stepping foot in this fascinating country. Stay tuned as we delve into the cans and cants of France. First off, let's talk about greetings, an essential part of French culture. In the grand tapestry of French tradition, the customary French greeting, known as la bise, holds a significant place. It's not just a simple hello or a wave of the hand, but a warm, intimate gesture of friendship and camaraderie. So what exactly is la bise? Picture this: you meet a friend, you lean in, cheeks touching, and make a kissing sound without actually kissing the cheek. Then you switch to the other cheek and repeat. It's like a dance, a social waltz that signals you're part of the community, part of the French family. Now, the number of kisses can vary from region to region. In Paris, it's usually 2, one on each cheek. But if you find yourself in Corsica or the southeastern regions, be prepared for up to 4. So, it's always good to follow the lead of the locals. But here's the catch. La bise is not universal for every social situation. It's typically shared among friends and family or people of the same age. In more formal settings or when meeting someone for the first time, a firm handshake is more appropriate. And remember, it's cheek to cheek, not lips to cheek. Importantly, la bise is more than just a greeting. It's a symbol of the French emphasis on personal relationships, a testament to their warm and welcoming nature. It's a ritual that bonds the community together, transcending the barriers of language and culture. So the next time you find yourself in the beautiful country of France, don't hesitate to faire la bise, embrace it, because it's not just about saying hello. It's about stepping into the French way of life, of belonging, of being part of something bigger. And there's a certain charm to it, isn't there? A certain je ne sais quoi that sets it apart from the rest of the world. It's an experience, an adventure, a story waiting to be told. Remember, when in France, do as the French do. Be brave, be bold, and most importantly, be open to new experiences. Because that's what travel is all about, isn't it? Stepping out of your comfort zone and immersing yourself in the culture of a new place. That's how you truly get to know a country, its people, and its heart. And next up, we're diving into the world of French dining etiquettes. In the realm of French social life, dining holds a position of high reverence. It's more than just a meal, it's a symphony of flavors, a celebration of culinary artistry, and a ceremony of social interaction. Therefore, understanding the dining etiquettes is essential for anyone wishing to fully immerse themselves in French culture. Let's start with table manners. In France, the dining table is a sacred space. The unwritten rule is to keep your hands on the table, but elbows off. When the food arrives, wait for the host to say bon appétit before you start. Remember, the bread goes on the tablecloth, not on a plate, and don't be surprised if you see people mopping up sauce with their bread. It's a common practice and considered a compliment to the chef. Moving on to conversation, the French love a good discussion over dinner. However, there are topics deemed inappropriate for the dining table. Avoid discussing money. It's considered tacky. Instead, engage in light, enjoyable conversation. Discuss books, films, travel, or art. The French love their culture. Finally, let's talk about toasting. This is an art in itself. Always look the other person in the eye when clinking glasses. It's seen as a mark of respect. And don't cross glasses with someone else. It's considered bad luck. If you're toasting with wine, remember, never with water. It's a faux pas. In France, dining is not a rushed affair. It's a leisurely event, often stretching over 2 hours. So take your time, savor the flavors, enjoy the conversation, and immerse yourself in the experience. The French take immense pride in their cuisine and dining etiquette. It's an integral part of their cultural identity. So, the next time you find yourself at a French dining table, remember these etiquettes. They will not only help you navigate the meal with ease, but also enrich your overall cultural experience. Keep in mind, dining is an art in France. Now let's address the dress code in France. When you think of France, fashion inevitably springs to mind. The country is a global fashion hub, home to iconic fashion houses and renowned designers. It's no surprise then that the French take dressing up very seriously. It's not about making a fashion statement, but about showing respect for the occasion, the people you're meeting, and yourself. So, what's the typical French dress code? Well, it's all about subtlety and sophistication. The French lean towards a neutral palette. Think black, white, beige, and navy. Bold, flashy colors or overly elaborate outfits are generally avoided. Instead, the French focus on quality fabrics and well-fitted clothes. A well-tailored blazer, a crisp white shirt, a pair of classic jeans, or a chic dress are staples in French wardrobes. Accessories, too, play a crucial role. A stylish scarf, a pair of elegant earrings, or a sophisticated handbag can elevate a simple outfit. But remember, less is more. The goal is to look effortlessly chic, not like a walking Christmas tree. Shoes can make or break your outfit. The French love their shoes, and they're typically high quality and well polished. Sneakers are acceptable, but only if they're clean and in good condition. Flip-flops and overly casual footwear are a big no-no, especially in cities like Paris. Dressing well is not just about looking good, but also about blending in with the locals. It's about respecting the culture and the environment. French people tend to dress up more than in other countries, even for casual outings. So, when in doubt, it's better to be slightly overdressed than underdressed. Remember, the French value discretion and elegance. Avoid exposing too much skin or wearing overly provocative clothes, especially in smaller towns and villages. Also, religious sites require modest attire, so keep that in mind when visiting. In conclusion, when it comes to dressing in France, it's all about understated elegance and fit. The French have a saying, "être bien dans sa peau," which means to be comfortable in one's skin. It perfectly encapsulates the French approach to dressing. It's about feeling good about yourself, not impressing others. When in France, always choose chic over comfort. Let's move on to some important laws and regulations in France. When you're visiting another country, it's not just about tasting the local cuisine or visiting famous landmarks. It's also about understanding and respecting the legal boundaries that shape the culture and lifestyle of the place. Did you know that in France it's illegal to cover your face in public spaces? This law, popularly known as the burqa ban, came into effect in April 2011. It prohibits anyone from wearing garments like the burqa or the niqab that hide the face in public. So, while you're packing your bags, remember to leave out anything that might contravene this law. Another unique law pertains to photography. You might want to think twice before clicking a picture of the Eiffel Tower at night. Yes, you heard that right. The illumination of the Eiffel Tower at night is considered a work of art. Therefore, it's protected under copyright law. So, unless you have permission from the Société d'Exploitation de la Tour Eiffel, sharing that beautiful nighttime shot could technically be a violation of copyright. And here's one for the bookworms among you. In France, it's illegal to price a book more than 5% below its publisher's price. This law was enacted to protect small bookstores from being undercut by big box retailers. So don't be surprised if you find books priced almost the same everywhere. Lastly, let's talk about something that's close to every French person's heart: food. In France, it's actually illegal to waste food. Supermarkets are required by law to donate unsold food items to charities and food banks. So, when in France, eat to your heart's content, but remember to waste not. These are just a few of the unique laws and regulations that you'll encounter in France. It's always a good idea to familiarize yourself with the local laws before you embark on your journey. Remember, ignorance of law is no excuse. Next, we're going to talk about some cultural sensitivities in France. France is a country known for its rich culture and history. And like any other country, it has its own set of cultural sensitivities that are important to understand. Let's start with addressing people. In France, titles are very important. Always address people with monsieur for men, madame for women, and mademoiselle for younger girls. It's a small courtesy that goes a long way in showing respect. Now let's talk about conversations. The French value their privacy, and it's considered impolite to ask personal questions about someone's salary, age, or relationship status, especially when you've just met. Stick to general topics like food, travel, and culture until you're better acquainted. Another cultural sensitivity revolves around humor. While the French do enjoy a good joke, be mindful of sarcasm and irony, as these can sometimes be misunderstood or taken as rudeness. It's also best to avoid making jokes about French stereotypes. They've heard them all, and trust me, they're not as amusing as you might think. When it comes to local customs, one important thing to remember is the French appreciation for quiet and tranquility. It's considered impolite to speak loudly in public places, and even more so to shout across the room. If you're in a restaurant, keep your voice down to a conversational level. This shows respect for the other diners and the establishment itself. Lastly, be aware of your body language. The French tend to be more reserved in their gestures and expressions. Excessive hand gestures or touching can be seen as overbearing or intrusive. A simple nod or a smile is usually sufficient to convey your feelings. Remember, when in France, do as the French do. Understanding and respecting these cultural sensitivities will not only help you avoid any faux pas, but also deepen your appreciation of the French culture. Respecting these sensitivities can make your stay in France more enjoyable. Let's debunk some common misconceptions about France. The world of stereotypes is often a far cry from reality, and France is no exception. First off is the myth that all French people are rude. While it's true that Parisians can sometimes seem distant or indifferent, it's important to remember that Paris is a bustling metropolis. The pace of life is fast, and people are often in a rush. This isn't a reflection of French people as a whole, who are generally warm, inviting, and ready to share a laugh or two. Next up is the stereotype that French people are always on strike. Yes, the French do value their rights and are not afraid to take to the streets to protect them. Yet, this doesn't mean that they're always on strike. It's a testament to their belief in democracy, not an indication of laziness or discontent. Another common misconception is that French people eat frogs and snails all the time. While it's true that these are traditional French delicacies, they're not everyday meals. They're more akin to a special treat, much like a lobster dinner might be in the United States. Let's also address the myth that French people don't speak English. While it's true that the French take great pride in their language, many also speak English, especially among the younger generations. That said, they appreciate it when visitors make an effort to speak French, even if it's just a few phrases. Lastly, there's the stereotype that all French people wear berets and striped shirts. This couldn't be further from the truth. While berets and striped shirts are part of traditional French attire, they're not commonly worn today. French fashion is diverse and contemporary with an emphasis on individuality. So there you have it, a few common misconceptions about France debunked. The moral of the story? Stereotypes are just that. Stereotypes. They're oversimplified and often incorrect assumptions. So when you visit France, go with an open mind and heart. You'll find a diverse, vibrant country with a rich history and culture. Remember, stereotypes seldom reflect reality. Finally, here are some additional tips for your French journey. First and foremost, learning a few French phrases goes a long way. The French appreciate efforts to speak their language, even if it's just a simple bonjour. Yes, it might seem intimidating at first, but remember, a smile is the same in every language. You'll be surprised how far a friendly demeanor can take you. Now let's talk about timing. The best times to visit France are during the spring and fall seasons. Summer, especially August, can be crowded with tourists, and many locals go on vacation, resulting in some shops and restaurants being closed. Conversely, winter can be quite cold, especially in the northern regions. So if you're looking for a balance between pleasant weather and fewer tourists, spring and fall are your best bets. Moving on to navigating through the country. France boasts an extensive and efficient public transportation system, from high-speed trains to local buses. You'll find it relatively simple to get from one place to another. However, do keep in mind the etiquette of queuing and giving up seats for the elderly, pregnant women, and those with disabilities. It's not just good manners, but also an unwritten rule. For those planning to drive, remember that in France, they drive on the right-hand side of the road. It's also worth noting that roundabouts are quite common, and the driver already in the roundabout has the right of way. Be sure to familiarize yourself with French road signs and parking rules to avoid any unnecessary fines. Lastly, embrace the French lifestyle. Take time to enjoy a leisurely meal, sip coffee at a sidewalk cafe, and lose yourself in the charming streets. The French value the art of living, or as they call it, l'art de vivre. So don't rush, savor every moment. If you've enjoyed this video about what you can and can't do in France, why not give this video a thumbs up? Your likes are the compass that guides us in creating content that you love. And if you're already a part of our VIP-loving community, thank you. You are the wind beneath our wings. If you're new here and you found value in this video, consider joining the family. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to ensure you never miss out on a new travel tip.